The Buffalo Bills say this is Josh Allen's offense, according to Joe Brady. What are your thoughts? Welcome to Buffalo against the world.
This is Buffalo against the world. Sports talk with Kulu and
Cousin Brad.
Bills Mafia. It's our time.
Act like you know, baby.
Act like you know.
Welcome everyone to another edition of Buffalo Against the World. And I'm here with my cousin Brad. Cousin Brad. Another week.
We back.
Training camp is on the way. How you feeling, cuz?
I'm feeling great, man. OTAs is here. This is Buffalo Against the World. I'm here with y'all. You know what it is. Our prize money is paid in installments. Y'all know what it is. But I'm feeling great today, man. Feeling really great today. OTAs just passed. Like what I see out of the young receivers. Like the hunger and the drive and the determination I see. Feeling great, man. Feeling great today.
That's awesome. That is awesome, Cousin Brad. Before we get started with our show, cuz, why don't you take us around the league and tell us what's happening in the NFL?
Ooh, man. I want to start off. First off, we got some unfortunately very, very sad news coming out of Dallas area today. Hall of Famer, probably the greatest offensive lineman to ever play in the NFL, play the game. Larry Allen, longtime Dallas Cowboy, number 73, probably the greatest lineman ever play, passed away yesterday at the age of 55 on vacation in Mexico with his family. Thoughts and prayers to his family. I mean, that was very, very sad losing Larry Allen. Again, when you look up offensive lineman in the dictionary or you Google it, Larry Allen should come up every time. He was the absolute best. So definitely thoughts and prayers there. Going around the league, Miami reached a deal with wide receiver Jalen Waddle, a 3-year deal worth $84.75 million, includes $76 million guaranteed. So shout out to Jalen Waddle. He's the paid Penguin. But if he would have just held out a little while longer, he would have got more money because the Vikings made a record-breaking deal as of today. Justin Jefferson signed a 4-year extension, $140 million extension that includes $110 million in guarantee. It makes this man the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history, but and he's also the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. So, I mean, Justin Jefferson's deal includes $88.74 million due at signing. So, I mean, Jalen Waddle, you would have held your ground. You would have got more money, bro. Sorry. But, hey, man, Justin Jefferson is grittying all the way to the bank. In other news, the Chicago Bears have actually reclaimed the throne for Hard Knocks this year. It was supposed to be the Giants. I guess they switch it up, moved to Shaw City. So shout out to Shaw City. And the Bills have signed Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson. I don't know much about this dude. He's a 2-time NCAA champion, national champion, signed to the Buffalo Bills. He's going to be playing defensive end. He's 6'1", 275 pounds. Never played football before. As a matter of fact, the only time this man has actually laced up a pair of cleats is when he did a tryout for the Buffalo Bills. But he should be. He's a great athlete, solid, very quick. He actually had an opportunity. He was actually signed to WWE early this year, and he is now a Buffalo Bill. They said he's expected to play defensive line. We'll see how that goes. Simone Biles won her 9th U.S. championship. Talking about Olympians, she won her 9th straight U.S. championship in the Olympic trials. Shout out to her. And that is what's going on around the sports league. But this new dude, Gable Steveson.
We're going to definitely get into Gable Steveson and this segment here. Cousin Brad, before we get started, man, let's see where all the fans are at, man. Let's talk to our fans.
Please.
What's going on? Bills Mafia roll call.
Where you at? You know the boys is on here. You know the reach is serious and the Mafia roll deep. So wherever you at, wherever you are watching, and if this is your first time watching, please give us a number 1 this is your first time watching our show, and we welcome you very much. But wherever you at, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
585 in the building.
585. Scott Banker, what up, Scott? 585 in the building, not too far. But we definitely welcome all Bills Mafia here. You know what it is. Oh, he gives us a wave. Shout out to you, Scott. Awesome. But man, OTAs is looking serious. Them boys looking real out there, man. This dude, Keon Coleman. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is gonna be a year, cause a lot of people been talking, a lot of media folks been talking, a lot of haters been talking. Like the Bills won't make it this year, won't go far. But like we said last time we was on the show, cousin Brad, the competition is gonna be crazy. Camp. It's gonna really intensify. As there's only a few locks on this team. Let's be honest here. Yeah. There is only a few locks on this roster, and Josh Allen is one of them. Joe Brady said this is Josh Allen's offense, cousin Brad. First of all, let's discuss this for just a second here.
All right.
What will Josh Allen's offense look like? Okay, so we talked about the releasing of the pressure from losing Stephon Diggs.
Right.
Pressure of locking into one guy is no longer there. Gabe Davis, his second favorite target, no longer there.
Right.
So now he's actually going to be throwing to guys that are open.
Right.
So the name on the back of the jersey is not going to matter. It's going to matter who's open. This is why I say training camp is going to be so important this year, cousin Brad, because at the end of the day, everybody's going to get a shot in this offense. We're going to see a lot more of the run game. We're going to see a lot more play action. We're going to see a lot more just different patterns that we're not used to these guys running. And we saw with Ken Dorsey, Josh Allen doing some little bit more intermediate routes, some more screen plays, some more tight end action. I look forward to seeing that, and that's what I believe is going to be Josh Allen is going to be best suited for going forward with the new weapons that he's had. What's your thoughts?
I think I'm to the addition that this is going to throw a lot of defenses off, because the defensive game plan was keep the ball out of number 14's hands, and we'll just take care of whatever else happens. And we're going to make Josh Allen beat us. And he was doing that with a lot of teams. He was beating a lot of teams. But, a lot of people forget we made the playoffs before Stephon Diggs even got here. Stephon Diggs his job was to make Josh Allen a better quarterback, and he's succeeding in his job. So now, like Joe Brady said, this is Josh Allen's offense. Now he's going to elevate the other guys and make them better. So it's on him to make them better. So we're talking about guys, Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman, James Cook. The names go on and on. He's going to make all of these guys better, because the game plan now is, instead of keep the ball out of 14's hands, how we stop Super 17.
Exactly.
And good luck with that.
You forgot a name in MVS who we got from the Chiefs. I'm really excited to see what he's got. Kind of, trying to revive his career, trying to see what he can do without being behind, having Patrick Mahomes back there making miracle plays. Now he's got another quarterback, probably another top 5, top 2 quarterback, as many people know Josh Allen is.
Right. Chase Claypool too. Forgot about him.
And Claypool too. And Claypool, another guy who's trying to revise his career. So you got a lot of players competing. It's going to be very tough at the wide receiver position to make this roster, for the simple fact there are guys trying to save their career. There are guys trying to build their career. There are guys trying to show that their career actually matters. Guys like Curtis Samuel, that they didn't just sign a big deal for no reason. It's a nice mix. It's a nice mix, and I really like it, because you just may be able to keep 7 receivers on this roster. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. Normally the Bills keep 6, but with injuries, you never can tell. With injuries, you never can tell. You at least got to keep probably 7. You're probably keeping 3 tight ends as well. So it's going to be real interesting to see who can play flex from special teams into the receiver. And punt returns too, to see who's really going to make this roster. I think that's going to be a determining factor.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. And it's going to provide a lot of grit too. It's going to provide a lot of grit because all of these guys in the receiver room are looking for the opportunity. I think the only one that is actually safe, I would say, is Khalil Shakir. He's the only one that's safe. I would say safe. But as far as Curtis Samuel, Mark Valdez Scantling, Chase Claypool, Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman is safe too. This is his first year, but I think all of those guys that we mentioned, Shorter, um, Andy Isabella, all of these guys are looking for the opportunity. They are foaming at the mouth to get back on the field. So it's going to create a lot of grit, a lot of competition. Guys are going to be actually, I don't want to use this terminology, but a lot of guys are going to be playing for their life out there. So it's going to be real interesting to say, hey, this is my opportunity, earn it. And they're going to have to earn it.
And this is a very good opportunity for Chase Claypool. And here's why.
Mm-hmm.
Chase Claypool can flex inside, outside, and go on the tight end.
Yeah. And he
He
can
can
block.
really do that. He can block. So this is a guy that's a big physical specimen that you can utilize him anywhere you want on the field. And I like this, Cousin Brad, because you're not forcing Keon Coleman to go out there and start day one.
Right.
You're not forcing him to. You want him to play significantly and significantly well, but you're not forcing him to be your number one guy day one.
Off the bat, right.
So
He can learn. He can learn from a lot of the veterans too. There's a lot of veterans in that locker room.
yeah,
And it's not too much of a gap. You got veteran guys, you got guys coming in, guys just now coming in. You got Khalil Shakir, who's been the rookie. Then you got guys like Chase Claypool, who's not on the end of their career, but a lot of guys that can help him in his development. So shout out to them Bills on this one. Brandon Bean really getting that in.
So if you were, let's say this is Madden, Cousin Brad,
All
because
right.
we know we avid Madden players. Who's your starting two? Who's your number one and your number two receiver this year? And again, we know that this is going to be a receiver by committee, so it probably won't matter who the number one and number two is this year because they're all going to get playing time. But if you were coaching this roster, you were organizing this Madden team, who would be your number one receiver and your number two receiver?
Okay. Well, if we're playing Madden, first of all, I go with the West Coast offense, so I have four receivers. I have four receivers right out the gates. Anybody who want it, Smitty716 on PlayStation Network. Just throwing it out. Anybody who want it, you can get it. But whatever. Anyway, so my starting receivers, I would definitely have Keon Coleman at the number one spot. I would have Curtis Samuel at the number two spot. I would want Shakir to play the slot because I think he's very good at that. And my fourth spot will go to Chase Claypool to spread the field.
All right, I'm going to go with Chase Claypool as my number one receiver. And, again, he's got to show something. If he shows something, I'm looking for him to be the number one receiver because he has the big physical attributes. Or, secondary, I'm going Curtis Samuel. My third receiver is going to be Keon Coleman, obviously. And then I'm going to mix Shakir in there as well. So that's going to be my top four. I don't see Coleman starting day one. Even though guys like DeMar Hamlin has been saying that this guy's not playing like a rookie out there. So I hope for the best, but I really don't really want to put that number one pressure on him year one.
I would put the pressure on him. Hey, look, man, we traded out of the first round to come get you. You're pretty much our first round pick. Randy Moss was a second round pick, believe it or not. The GOAT. Hey, he was a second round pick. Go out there. You got to, all the highlights, all the press conferences, all the rookie things, all that's over. Now we need you to perform out there. Go out and get it, kid. We drafted you for a reason. We brought you here for a reason. I'm pretty sure he's up to the challenge.
Yeah, and here's the thing, because, it's something when you're dealing with rookies, and you got to be very careful. You don't want him to come in and feel like, I got to replace Stephon Diggs.
Right.
You don't want him having that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is why I say, obviously, he can work his way into being the starter. And
Mm-hmm.
Sean McDermott tends to do that with his rookies, really talented rookies. Unless he's just that outstanding in training camp, that he's just dominating to the extent that nobody that we brought to this team in that wide receiver class is better than him. Then he's going to definitely be the number one starter. But
Right.
I just don't want to put that pressure on him just yet. I want him to earn it. I want him to earn it on the field. I want him to prove it. I want him to have hunger. I don't want him to feel like a privileged child. I want him to go out there and work for everything he's going to get.
Absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%. I don't want you to be Stephon Diggs. I want you to be Keon Coleman. We didn't draft you to be Stephon Diggs. We drafted you to be Keon Coleman. You're not Stephon Diggs. You're Keon Coleman. Be him. We don't want you to be Stephon Diggs. We know what we had when we had him, and the Texans have him now. So we want you to be the best Keon Coleman you can be. We don't have high expectations. We don't expect 1,000 yards from you. We expect you to learn the offense, score touchdowns, and play your game. That's all. No pressure.
Izzy mentioned this, and this is somebody I really like. Shakir really loved him last year. He's working out with one of your favorite. You say he was the best Bills receiver of all time.
He is.
I believe he's the number 2 Bills receiver of all time. But he's working out with Eric Moulds. He's working out with the right guy to become an elite receiver. Do you see him becoming a number 1 or number 2 in the NFL?
I don't know. I think it's too early to call as far as if he can be a number 2 or number 1. Is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible. But I mean, judging off what we saw last year, I wouldn't want to put him in that situation yet. I would say stick to what you're good at right now. And if the cards align, go right ahead. Be the number 1 or be the number 2. We dealt with this before when it came to Stevie Johnson. Stevie Johnson wasn't our number 1. He was our number 3 at one point. And then he evolved and grew into our number 1. So I think he deserves that same type of treatment. Like, hey, man, we're not expecting you to be the number 2 guy, but if you can evolve and you can become that guy, 100%, go right ahead. And shout out to SJ1 Trey too, man. Shout out to you. We didn't forget, bro.
Shout out to SJ1 Trey, man. Buffalo Against the World song. That's actually what started this show. So shout out to SJ.
Yeah, man. We got to bring you on the show, bro. We got to bring you on the show, man.
Actually, he reached out to me a few weeks ago, and we're talking about doing some things. So look for Stevie Johnson to be on Buffalo Against the World soon.
Definitely.
Seth mentions Claypool is going to resurrect his career here in Buffalo. Look, we've seen what he can do when he had Ben Roethlisberger. He did very well. He really didn't have a quarterback like to the caliber of Josh Allen. Let's keep that all the way 100. I mean, he did not have that. So now he has it. Let's see what he can do. We were quick to anoint Gabe Davis after that big game in Kansas City, which we ultimately lost, the 13 seconds game. That I hate to remember. But
why'd you even bring that up?
I mean,
ouch.
I know, but that was his greatest game of his career. Probably even in the losing effort was Josh Allen's one of his greatest games of his career as well. And I think if he gets the possession back one more time, we win that game because he was just on one that day. But what I'm saying to you though is, when you talk about with Gabe Davis, we're talking about Shakir now. When Gabe Davis got that big game. We scored, was it 4 touchdowns?
Four touchdowns.
Four touchdowns.
Yeah.
The expectations raised for him the next year
Absolutely.
to become the unchallengeable number 2 receiver, right?
Right. Yes.
And we forget that he was the number 3 receiver that year. He was the slot guy because Emmanuel Sanders was the number 2 to Stephon Diggs. So
correct.
Possibly why he got open so well. So if we want to just say, okay, Shakir had a really good last 7 games, as Izzy tells us right here. Really good last 7 games. Does that mean he's a number 2 receiver automatically? When he was getting that with Stephon Diggs attracting a lot of attention, Kincaid doing very well, he still wasn't the number 1 or number 2 guy. So I think like you just said, Cousin Brad, you hit the nail right on the head. Keep him in the positions, keep him where he's good at. Don't try to change him.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he did his best work inside the slot, inside the numbers, and the man is relentless, and he catches the ball. He can catch very, very well, and not only can he catch, he throws a block. He'll tackle if it's an interception. Like, the dude plays all 4 downs. I haven't seen that in a long time. The last all 4 down receiver I've probably seen, maybe Steve Smith Sr. as well as Hines Ward. Those dudes were what I call all 4 down receivers. They can literally play everything. And Khalil reminds me of both of those guys. So I love exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, and he had the highest paid percentage, highest catch percentage according to Izzy in the NFL. So shout out to Khalil Shakir, man. And cousin Brad, it's important that we talk about these tight ends. We talked about Claypool possibly flexing inside. We got to see something from Dawson Knox this year. We have to see something from Dawson Knox because he had a really down year. Injuries, we know, are part of the game. They tore him up last year. He really wasn't able to get right. I look to see him really bounce back this year and really show that physical specimen that he was his first few years before he got his contract. And we're noticing a pattern in Buffalo, cousin Brad. When a lot of these guys get contracts, that's when the injuries happen. That's when they kind of start falling off, especially right here in Buffalo. What's your thoughts on Dawson Knox coming back strong this season?
Okay. I'm just going to be honest. Dalton Kincaid is better than Dawson Knox, but Dawson Knox is a great tight end. I mean, that's just the truth. Let's not get it twisted. When Dalton Kincaid came in here, he came in as a rookie. He straight up balled out. He didn't leave anything off the field. So shout out to him. But Dawson Knox, yeah, he was banged up and he was injured, but he picked up right where he left off when he came back. He started scoring touchdowns. He was throwing blocks. He was doing exactly what he was supposed to do. It's just Dalton Kincaid is a better tight end. But Dawson Knox is still good. Like, I hate to say this, and I'm just saying this because Joe Brady was a coordinator there. He was on there. Gronkowski, Aaron Hernandez sort of thing. It got him to the Super Bowl. God bless the dead. But, hey, it got them to the Super Bowl. They didn't win it. But it got them to the Super Bowl. The two tight end sets, I love it. I would love to run Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid in the same set. So I don't think this is a make or break year for Dawson Knox. I do think Dalton Kincaid is a better tight end. But hey, let the best man win. If we can have both, why not stockpile the tight end room? I'll take it.
Yeah, we got a lot of support for Chase Claypool here. Becoming a starter here in Buffalo. A lot of people believe he will resurrect his career in Buffalo. Look, cousin Brad, I think it's important that the offense really shows a different flavor.
Yeah.
People are going to be watching film from last year when we start the season because they're going to think that our offense is going to be similar. But people don't understand that Joe Brady now has a full off season to form the offense, this Josh Allen offense that we're talking about here today.
Yeah, greatest scheme.
To suit Josh Allen. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how he does that. With that being said, cousin Brad, we want to talk about something really quickly. Okay? There was a statement made, all right, by one of our arch nemesis right on I'm not even going to mention their platform, but on social media. They're social media guys. I don't even want to call them media, whatever.
Go ahead. No, we ain't gonna throw no subliminals. Who is it?
All right, let's get to the next segment here, and we're gonna address this brother. All right, let's.
If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me.
Keep the hate coming. Buffalo Against the World show.
Turn me up some more so my haters can hear.
All right, this is Buffalo Against the World, and it wouldn't be Buffalo Against the World if we didn't address the Buffalo haters. Nick Wright mentioned that this is Josh Allen's Super Bowl bust. Another Super Bowl or bust year for Josh. Cousin Brad, look, this is, to me, when I hear the Super Bowl or bust, I kind of take it with a grain of salt because it's something that happens to great players all the time.
Yeah.
If you're great, if you're Jordan, if you're LeBron, if you're Steph, if you're Patrick Mahomes, if you're
Tom Brady,
Aaron
Rodgers,
Joe
who we should be
Montana,
talking about.
Yeah, A-Rod. It's usually a Super Bowl or bust year. Like you go all in or you're all out. With this team trying to rebalance itself with the new personnel that we have, do you think that still applies for Josh Allen with all this young and new talent all around him, and guys who we just mentioned who are trying to resurrect their career?
Okay, I'm gonna preface this the way I'm gonna preface this in a way. Nick Wright, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Nick Wright. I get what you're saying. Is this Super Bowl or I don't want to say bust or Super Bowl or nothing? Yes, it is. But the way you're prefacing it is you're saying either he wins the Super Bowl or he's a scrub. That's not the case. Nick Wright, I get what you're doing. But what it tells me, bro, you're afraid. You're afraid. We already got you with the ketchup and mustard. We already bathed you. We get it. You're a Patrick Mahomes fan. You love Kansas City. Y'all got y'all victories. We get it. We understand. But realistically, it's not only a Super Bowl or a bust season for Josh Allen. It's also Super Bowl or bust for Patrick Mahomes. Also Super Bowl or bust for Aaron Rodgers. Also Super Bowl or bust for Lamar Jackson. Also Super Bowl for...
Wait. Can I interrupt you really quick?
Go ahead.
It's not Super Bowl or bust for Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
He's got rings. It's
Bro,
not Super Bowl or bust for him.
If he does not win the Super Bowl, the media is going to have a field day. He's under as much pressure as Josh Allen, as Lamar Jackson. People expect him to win the Super Bowl. They are not going into this season like, well, hey, man, we gave it a good year. We won last year. We good. No. And the expectations in Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, Dallas, San Francisco is either we win the Super Bowl or it was a bad season. That's just realistically. It's the same way in Miami. Either we're gonna win the Super Bowl or we're gonna have a bad year.
No.
New York? I don't know. I don't know about New York.
You're reaching.
I'm not reaching.
You reaching. You are definitely reaching with
okay,
Miami.
So you think Miami is just okay, we gonna make the playoffs and we had a good year?
Yeah, they need to get a playoff win.
Exactly.
They need to get a playoff win before they can talk about being Super Bowl or
right,
bust team.
Right. And Joe Burrow is coming off an injury. You think their expectation is, hey, look, man, you back off an injury, time to win the Super Bowl this time. You think they're gonna say, well, just get us to the playoffs and we're good? No, look, they want to win a championship like we do.
Everybody wants to win, but it's not realistic.
It is realistic.
There only are really. Let's count the elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
All right.
And I'm talking about guys who have an opportunity to
win the Super Bowl. I got you.
We got Mahomes.
Yep.
We got Josh Allen.
We
can throw Brock Purdy in there now because he's been to one. You can throw Joe Burrow in there because he's been to one.
Okay.
You have to include
Lamar Jackson.
We mentioned Lamar Jackson, right? Okay. You got to throw Lamar Jackson.
You didn't mention him. Okay. Aaron Rodgers.
At this stage in his career, I'm not thinking he's Super Bowl or bust. I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
I think that's about it right there.
Okay, so you mentioned
we mentioned is about it.
Okay, so Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. You threw in Brock Purdy. You threw in Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy and Joe Burrow.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with Brock Purdy. I agree. I'll give you Joe Burrow, and I'll give you Dak Prescott because that's just the Cowboys. It's just either we win a Super Bowl or bust. And I don't think that Dak Prescott is on the level of the other guys we mentioned, but he's the quarterback of Dallas, so you automatically thrown into the fire. And let's not forget C.J. Stroud. Yeah, bro, rookie year is over.
He is not Super Bowl or bust yet.
Rookie year is over.
Stop it.
You got us all the way. We expect a Super Bowl out of you, bro. We gave you Stephon Diggs just because. We didn't even need Stephon Diggs. We got Nico Collins. We got Schultz. We got guys on the team already. We didn't even need Stephon Diggs, but we said, look, we want a Super Bowl. We tired of being Dallas's little brother. We want Stephon Diggs. Now go win us a Super Bowl. That's what they expected in Houston.
So what I'm saying to you, though, is it's not what they expect. Because I think every team's goal is to get to the Super Bowl.
Right, but I'm talking about
the observers are seeing what most people observe Josh Allen and his physical capabilities
Yeah.
and what he's accomplished in the NFL, they are expecting him to be in the Super Bowl.
I agree. Absolutely.
Okay?
But
When they talk about Joe Burrow and the laser focus that he has when he's healthy,
right.
Bengals fans and people who really like Joe Burrow and other people who have played against him, such as us, and
Right.
lost,
Yes.
we can expect
Super Bowl.
expectations.
Absolutely.
Brock Purdy is in there. Why?
I disagree.
Because Brock Purdy is in there because he was in the Super Bowl last year. So, 49ers have Super Bowl or bust expectations because they were in the Super Bowl.
Okay. Stop. So let me stop. The 49ers have Super Bowl expectation. The 49ers as a team. Brock Purdy, I don't know. I ain't ready to throw him in that elite list yet. I'm sorry. I'm not ready to throw him in there yet. I mean, is he good? Absolutely. He's a good player. Good player, game manager. He can manage the game. He'll get you a win. Is he elite? No. He's not elite in my book. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Me and cousin Brad can go at it all day, but what is your thoughts? Is this a Super Bowl or bust season? Leave your answer right in the chat. Is this a Super Bowl or bust season for the Buffalo Bills? Is Nick right? Or is he Nick wrong?
Okay. So I ask you, are we aiming for the playoffs or are we aiming for a championship?
We aiming for a championship.
Exactly. So he's right technically. He's not wrong. But I get what he's trying to compare Josh Allen to Patrick Mahomes. Dude, we're over that. That's not happening. They're two different athletes. They have similar styles. They both play in the AFC. It's like every time they play against each other, always comes up. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is the better player. He is the better player. It is what it is. But Josh Allen is just as good. He's not better. He's just as good. I'll say that.
Yeah. I think when it comes to this, he's not wrong in a sense.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
I don't think he's wrong. It's just because he's Nick Wright.
He's afraid. He's afraid of Josh Allen's success. Every time Josh Allen succeeds, Nick Wright just gets a little sadder. Like a tear comes down his face. He ain't going to admit it. But every time Josh Allen does well, Nick Wright's a little sadder.
Yeah. I want to say because of the mix-up of the roster that it's not a Super Bowl or bust year for the Bills. And
I disagree.
We've said this on prior shows, right? That the revamping of this roster, the releasing of Jordan Poyer and the revamping, the trading of Stephon Diggs, and we can mention the others as well, was a reset year. This was a reset year that Sean McDermott needed. He needed it because if he continued with the same guys another year, it probably would have cost him his job. So he had to sit down with Brandon Beane to say, hey, what's the problem? And he had to say, this player, that player, this guy's a little aged. We don't need this guy in the locker room anymore. It's putting too much pressure on our number one guy. They had that conversation, and boom, they made those moves. So to me, I can't say it's a Super Bowl or bust year because it's kind of a reset, and we got a brand new offense coming in. We got brand new players coming in here that don't know the schemes. They got to get used to them.
But it's not a rebuild. Like, my expectations are high, even though it's a rebuild season. It's not going to be a total rebuild until Josh Allen is no longer playing for the Bills anymore. As long as we got him, it's never a rebuild season. Yeah. He's like the Steve Young. Like Steve Young on the 49ers, it was never a rebuild season. It was always, look, man, either we win a Super Bowl or it's a bad year. And Renaissance man hit it on the head. It's Super Bowl or bust for every team with an elite superstar quarterback. Exactly. And that includes Dak Prescott. Even though I don't think he's elite, hey, you're the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback. So it's Super Bowl or bust for you too. It is.
I mean, I think the Dallas Cowboys are like the Lakers, right? They're always going to have...
Yeah, and they're like the Yankees.
They're always going to have the media
exactly
hyping them up, whether they're winner, whether they're trash or good. But to me, logically, talent-wise, they've always kind of been right there.
Yeah.
Just putting it all together for the Cowboys. But I disagree with Renaissance Man on the strength that those teams are not expected by the masses. Of course, they expect themselves if you got an elite quarterback.
Right.
But the masses are not expecting certain quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl, like Josh Allen.
I'm going to tell you what. Whoever wins this division, whoever wins the AFC East, they're going to the AFC East championship. I don't know who they're going to play, but whoever comes out of this division, the winner, whether if it's Buffalo, Miami, or New York, we're not even going to mention the Patriots because that's just not going to happen. But Buffalo, Miami, or New York, whoever comes out of this division is going to the AFC championship. I'm just going to say that now.
All right, keep the comments coming in. Is it a Super Bowl or bust year for the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills? But right now, we need you to go to our channel ASAP. Go to our channel. All you got to do is go on YouTube, go to our channel, and subscribe. All right, Cousin Brad, and here we go. We got another segment that you invented. I got to give you a hand for that. And it is going to be our Bills Mafia trivia question.
The party starts in 3, 2, 1.
Right now, got an interesting question for you guys.
All righty.
Cousin Brad, go ahead and read it for him.
All right, Bills Mafia, we want to hear from you. Bills Mafia trivia. Which coach has the longest tenure with the Buffalo Bills behind Marv Levy? A lot of coaches could fit that bill. Which one has the longest tenure not named Marv Levy? Think about it. A lot of coaches for this team. Who's had the longest tenure? And it's not Chan Gailey. I'm just gonna take that answer out of this. It's not him.
It's not Marv Levy. It's
not Marv Levy or Chan Gailey. So we can just eliminate both of those.
Leave your comments down below. We're gonna give it a few minutes so we get a couple comments in here before we answer this question. Cousin Brad, what are some? While we waiting for some answers to come in? Who are some notable coaches that you remember for the Buffalo Bills? And we can talk about the good ones, the bad ones, and it doesn't really matter. But
well, a lot of guys I think deserve shout outs. I'm going to give a shout out first off, obviously, dude's still coaching to this day in the UFL. And I met this man in person. He was very, very nice to me. Wade Phillips. Shout out to good old Wade Phillips, man. He was an excellent coach. Had pressure. Had a little controversy, Music City Miracle. I mean, not a lot of coaches can survive that. But Wade Phillips, man, the championships, the defenses this man is running, he is still doing it to this day. Shout out to Wade Phillips. And I met him in person. He was very, very nice. He signed a little football for me. So shout out to him. Another one, Ted Cottrell. Remember Ted Cottrell? Remember the sunglasses? No matter what it was. Remember the sunglasses? Shout out to him, man. Remember the starter jacket that never fit on the sideline? Yo, shout out to Ted Cottrell,
you know what?
Man.
He had the number one defense when he was with this team. He had Bruce Smith. He had Ted Washington. He had Pat Williams. He had Bryce Pop. You remember Bryce Pop when he had 15 sacks?
Yes.
He had
Phil Hansen.
Phil Hansen, Sam Coward. Remember Sam Coward?
Jeff
Hollistick, Kenny Irvin.
Jeff Burris.
Jeff Burris or Winfield was on that team. I think
Burris. Winfield wasn't here yet. Winfield came in, I think, 99. I think he came in 99. He wasn't here yet. But Jeff Burris, oh, man. Kurt Schultz. Remember him?
Schultz.
Oh, Kurt Schultz. I think
Henry Jones was still on the team.
He was. Kurt Schultz played the nickel back. But shout out to Kurt Schultz. He was awesome. Gabe Northern, you mentioned. Damian Covington, D3 player. Shout out to him. Yep, oh, man, I could go all day. I go all day. Marcellus Wiley. We forgot about him.
That was the year
Ivy League
of the
player.
Music City Miracle. That was that year. Something that we don't. As a matter of fact, it was not. It was Thomas Smith. It was not
Jeff
Burris. It was Thomas Smith.
You are right.
Yep.
It was
Smith
Thomas
and Kenny
Smith.
Irvin. Yep.
Yes, it was Thomas Smith. Forgot about him.
Yep. All right.
That was bro. Bro mentioned that. Thomas Smith.
Yep. Sean got
He
that right.
mentioned
That's right.
that. Yeah. Dang, that's crazy. I forgot all about Thomas Smith. Shout out to him.
Yeah, man. So okay, so here we go with this question here. Let's go to a couple answers. Chuck Knox.
Good guess. Good guess. That was a good guess. Incorrect. We need the Family Feud X. We need the Family Feud X on this one.
Yeah.
It is not Chuck Knox.
It is.
People gonna be like, what? We're gonna be like, yeah.
I saw another answer in here. Let me get to it. A guy you mentioned to me earlier. Where is it?
I was wrong. I was wrong what I thought about. I was
You were
wrong.
definitely wrong. It's gone. Oh no, here it is. All right, you mentioned this guy earlier.
Yeah, I thought it was Lou Saban. Had same amount of years, but it was different stints. And whoever Bills fan 7883 is, you are correct. It is Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott. Awesome, Sean McDermott. Shout out to Sean, man.
Sean McDermott has been with the
think
Buffalo Bills for 7 years. Marv Levy was 12.
Mm-hmm.
Marv Levy was 12. Right behind him was Sean McDermott with 7 years.
Now, Sean McDermott, also a wrestler. Do you think he has something to do with this new guy, Gable Steveson, signing? The wrestling background, the grapple, all that stuff. You think he has something to do with it? I think he did.
What? You know what? Sean McDermott likes guys similar to him. And if you really watch him when in scheming the defense, he plays to the strong suit of the defensive backs. Because he played defensive back. So he understands the game from that perspective, and that's why he trusts the zone coverage more than anything. So let's talk about Stevenson here, all right? Because that was going to be the next discussion here as a winner or sin. All right, so Gable Steveson, he's a 2-time NCAA champion, right? He had I believe he was 82-5 or something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
82-5 in his career. He went to the He had a brief stint in the WWE. Didn't perform, but it was signed. He's like an amazingly freak athlete. They got him listed. The Bills have him listed actually at 5'11".
I seen 6'1". I seen 6'1", 275.
5'11", 269. Some say 275. But look, here's the thing that I want to talk about this, and I'm going to say this is a win for the Buffalo Bills. Please leave your comments down below. What did you think? Is the signing of Gable Steveson a win or a sin? This guy never played football, so a lot of people are saying it's a sin. Look, there's a lot of things that translate when it comes to wrestling. This guy's an athlete. He's a freak athlete. He has the leverage, and he chose the Buffalo Bills because he liked what they did with smaller defensive tackles, such as Ed Oliver. Smaller but speed guys. This is why there were a couple other teams bidding for him. But he chose Buffalo strictly because how they worked with Ed Oliver. So I think how they move with their hand movements, their strengths, using their full body strength, in wrestling is just like offense and defensive line. These guys have contact every single play. Right? And for that reason, what are you losing? What are you losing? I mean, you drafted another guy who's never played in the NFL. He cannot play this year at all. So you have a spot open. Why not give this guy an opportunity? I mean, worst come to worst, it just doesn't work out. You release him, you lose nothing. Or you redshirt him for the whole year, let him learn the game of football, and see what he can do next year. Put him on the practice squad. I think the practice squad is going to be the place where he's going to land because he's got to learn the game of football But I do think it's a win for Buffalo. What's your thoughts?
Okay. Before I even give you my thoughts, I would be love to be a fly on the wall to hear the conversation between Brandon Bean and Triple H to get this guy over to Buffalo. Like, I would just love to hear that conversation before I even go into my like. Just love to hear that conversation. That was probably so awesome. But in all seriousness, here, okay, the only reason why it's not a total sin is because he doesn't have a roster spot yet. I'm gonna be real. Gable Steveson. I'm not doubting your athletic ability. You are a 2-time national championship. You're a national champion. You're an Olympian, bro. You had a contract with the WWE. I don't know if you're ready for this, bro. I'm gonna be real. I'm just gonna be real. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. This is not some Division III school. This ain't the XFL. This ain't the USFL. This ain't NFL Europe. This ain't the CFL. This is the National Football League. This is where the best athletes in the world come to play defensive line. I'm sorry, bro. I can't just say, oh, yeah, this is going to work out because you're an athlete. There are plenty of athletes that did not make it to the NFL. Brock Lesnar, he's a great athlete. He tried out for the NFL. Didn't work out for him. The Rock, he's a great athlete. He didn't even make it to the NFL. He got cut by a Canadian team. So this is not – odds are not in your favor. Now, I could be completely wrong, and you can make everything of this opportunity. But if this was maybe a Division III school where you could develop your skills – absolutely had an opportunity. But coming to the NFL, the top level with top tier athletes, I'm going to be real right now. There's a Division I player that's probably didn't get drafted that's better than you at defensive line right now. That didn't even make the NFL. There's a guy that's probably going to go to the USFL that's better than you. But you got this opportunity. My advice is take it, enjoy the experience, and seize the opportunity to make the best you can. But it's not likely you're going to make this team, bro. I'm just going to be real with you.
Yeah, look, I think we need to make this very clear, Cousin Brad, to point out. This is not – he didn't just do WWE wrestling. He didn't do that type of wrestling.
Oh, no.
Real wrestling.
Real wrestling. And
not
NCAA.
Wrestling entertainment, okay?
Right.
Not wrestling entertainment. Right. So
Olympics.
Let's make
this
that
man was in the
clear.
Olympics. He was in the Olympics, bro.
Yeah, let's make that very, very clear.
Absolutely. I'm not taking that away from you. Two-time national champion, no slouch.
The Bills watched him work out. A number of teams were willing to take a chance. Again, we drafted another guy who didn't play football, who's never played football before. He's going to be redshirted this whole year. He's not eligible to play this year. So that leaves a spot open. Worst come to worst, if he shows some flashes, this guy can get on your practice squad this year, like I said. If he's terrible, you cut your losses. But what if you have a freak of nature on your hands? You just never know. I think at this point, this is the time where the Buffalo Bills are really taking risks. Because at the end of the day,
this is a huge risk.
It's not a huge risk because this is not a guy who's probably going to get on the field this year. This is a developmental player. This is a developmental freak of nature. And everybody who knows Kulu knows I like freak athlete players.
I understand.
That are just physically hard to stop. This is what you need for this roster. So look, he's got a lot to prove. He's got a mountain to climb. But at the end of the day, do you think he doesn't know that?
Absolutely he knows that. I hope he knows that. Bro, did we forget? He never put on a pair of cleats until the Bills worked them out. He never wore cleats. Like, big uphill battle, my dude. Like, if I'm an offensive lineman, I want to go up against him every time. I'll make sure I get a roster spot. No, I'm going against him. I want him. Come on, gold medalist. I'm going against him. So come on, man.
Look, man, he's going to have his hands full against guys that
Brock chose not to. The
game.
Rock and Goldberg weren't good enough. Hey, Goldberg played for the Falcons. Goldberg played for the Falcons and got hurt. Just saying.
I like it. And let's talk about the release of Matt Hack. I mean, Sam Martin's on this roster. We also had an undrafted punter on this team for San Diego State who's actually been holding the kick for our kicker. Been holding the ball for him. So he's getting work. This young guy is going to be competing with Sam Martin. We didn't need Matt Hack, so I'm not mad at it. We had three.
Matt Hawk.
The
Hawk. You gotta let go of the Hawk. Come on.
We didn't need him. Like we was carrying 3 punters on the roster, man. We didn't need that dude.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't a big release. I'm sorry, Hawk, man. You was cool. You had a cool last name with 2 A's in it, but I'm sorry, bro.
Yo, but watch out for that rookie. His name is escaping me right now. I believe it's Browning. Browning is his name. He is man. He's got a boot. He's got a boot, and he can also do a little bit of both. He can actually kick the ball. He's actually made, I believe, a 61-yarder before in college. So he can kick the ball, and he can also punt. So this is a guy you can possibly use as a flex guy just in case we lose our kicker. So again, this is what Sean McDermott likes to do. He likes to have guys who are multi-talented, who can do multiple things. And we talked about that earlier, Cousin Brad, when it came to the receivers. When you talk about 4 through 6 in the receiver depth for depth, these guys are going to have to be able to play special teams too. And I think this is also going to be a factor for Browning, whether he makes this roster and competing with Sam Martin.
Absolutely, 1,000%. Special teams is a huge part of the game, and the Buffalo Bills, as far as their special teams, except for one person that couldn't make a kick when we needed him to, just whatever. Besides that one play, special teams is, God, that hurt so bad. Besides that play, where it went in a direction that I'm not going to mention, the Buffalo Bills have pretty much elite special teams. Their special teams are an elite group. They take very much pride in their special teams. Because we've had years where the special teams on this team was absolutely awful. Remember Bobby April? Remember that? Remember that? Yeah, remember that name?
Well, what I'm gonna say is this: is Browning, Sam Martin. You better be careful, man. Be very, very careful, because you see what happened when we had what's the guy's name who Bass replaced? What's his name? The guy that Bass replaced.
Oh, Carpenter.
No, it wasn't Carpenter.
Bass is the kicker.
No, the guy who Bass replaced. Start with an H. I forget his name.
Hawk.
No, not Hawk. We got him from the Seahawks. He was a really good kicker. I forget his name.
House Money. Hauschka.
Yeah, Hauschka.
House Money.
So
House Money.
Look, what I know about McDermott and Bean, they're not afraid to go young. I mean, they let Bass go when he was just a rookie. So Sam Martin, I don't know, bruh.
They let Bass go. He's not on the team no more.
Hauschka been gone, bruh. What's wrong with
you? You said they let Bass go.
No, Bass took his spot. They
let okay. Yeah.
If I said
that, not the Hauschka, man. Hauschka was dope, man. Hauschka was dope.
He was definitely dope. All
right.
Buffalo.
Yeah, they like to go younger.
So
they like to go younger.
We are not afraid to go younger. So I think the signing of him, and I believe he was from San Diego State, just like
Matariza.
So he may be that guy. He's got a leg, man. He's got a boot.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. A couple of points I meant to mention earlier. As of July 1st, the Bills have officially got $11.7 million in cap space as of July 1st. So that's a big sign, because Trey White no longer being on the team. So that dead cap done opened up. That bank account done opened up. And another thing that I forgot to mention too. Officially, as of this morning, the Buffalo Bills have submitted a bid for the NFL draft for 2028 for the new stadium. As you can see, the plans right behind me. So that is huge. The bid for the 2028 draft, as you see, it was just held in Detroit. So cold weather climates are an option. And it's going to be in Pittsburgh this year. So why not a cold weather stadium? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love to see that.
Yeah, you know what? I would love to see it. We know that Buffalo is still somewhat cold around April, but hey, who would not want to? And remember when the NCAA came to Buffalo?
Yeah,
how they loved it here.
The NHL draft was here.
Yeah, they would absolutely love to have an NFL draft here. I mean, Buffalo would go nuts.
Yeah,
having one here. So I hope it
happens.
And
it's room. It's room. I mean, we got the field house. You mean to tell me you can't put the draft in the field house? You can put the draft in the field house. That will work. That's indoors, climate control. You can put a stage in there.
No,
it's more than enough room.
I don't know if the field house is big enough to host that type of event. You would have to use the stadium, and preferably the new stadium. Now, you said the new is for the new stadium or our current?
The new stadium. The new stadium. Okay. It's going to be. They bid in the bid for 2028. Our new stadium should be completed by 2026. So it would be in the new stadium. But I mean, if it rains, or they got the humongous canopy they had in Detroit, why not? Why not? Why not have it here? You think people are not gonna go? People are gonna go.
Izzy make a good point. Go Buffalo tailgate style if you go do it. And look,
exactly.
Man, they ain't gonna want to leave if we do tailgate style. They ain't gonna want to leave, man. Shout out to Game Day Hospitality, our built-in Buffalo family right there who throws the best tailgate events. Gotta shout them out, man. But yeah, if you go tailgate Buffalo style at a draft party, oh man.
You're going to see some tables broken. It's gonna need a cleanup crew. It gets real out here. For those who don't know, it gets real in the tailgate parking lot. It gets real. It gets real.
Gets real in the BUFF. Cousin Brad, man, that'll do it for today's show, Buffalo Against the World. We are back. We're back here next Monday. We'll be watching closely. So make sure you like, share, subscribe to the Built-in Buffalo platform, the platform that brings you Buffalo Against the World and so many other great podcast shows. So make sure you subscribe. Watch us all the way Monday through Sunday. We're here each and every week on Monday at 7 p.m. Make sure you lock in. Deuces to everyone.
Tom Brady, you still suck.